So just now that article, right? We saw that there's this name of the agency, right? True Love Vietnam Bride. I just try to scroll a bit,
Extensive research.
yeah, to do a bit like a 5 minutes research.
Immediately in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to ask for a refund now.
Why? What do you? What made you reject instantly? Is it the look?
Yes.
From no love, also there will be some love, right? Just because of the like you stay together, you take care of each other, and so on.
True love can come later. I need to first upgrade my status first.
So welcome back to another episode of the Backholder Pod. Today's an interesting episode posted by Rise Media. And he started off the entire conversation or article like this. And I quote, "How much money do you earn each month?" So this is the first question a Vietnamese woman asked Marcus in his hotel lobby. So I think just to circle to this entire discussion, we wanted to explore the idea of whether you can buy love with money. So maybe to just kickstart this entire discussion, Eric, what's your thoughts on matchmaking agency and whether you can buy love with money?
Matchmaking agency and buy love with money. I think two separate questions, right? I answer the first question first.
Maybe I think matchmaking agency is more general, right? I
Mm,
think more specifically it's called Vietnamese Bride Matchmaking Agency.
yeah, okay. So I answer the Vietnamese bride part. I think it definitely works because I have a ex-colleague who actually went and he paid 10,000, I think $10,000. I'm not sure whether is it Sing dollar or USD but he got matchmade with a Vietnamese wife lah. So by the time I knew him, right, he already had a daughter. Then how did I know his wife is Vietnamese? Because one day he was showing his family photo, right? Then all of us were looking lah, like he's from another department. So I was like, hey, who and who are this one? Your daughter, is it? Then he looked at me like, this one my wife. Then I was like, oops, sorry. Then he said, never mind, never mind. A lot of people think that she's my daughter when they go out lah. Because my colleague a little bit uh looks a little bit more mature lah for his age. I think he was like 40 or something like that, 40 plus. But he looks like he's 60, something like that. Yeah, so but I felt very paiseh because that time I was quite a new teacher. Then I said, hey, sorry. Then he like, it's okay. Then I asked, how do you get to know this your wife one? Wow, she looks super young eh. Then he's like, oh no, she's a foreigner, Vietnamese. I say, how? But that's even worse. How do you get to know Vietnamese? Because teachers, you know our lifestyle, right? Last time, it's like you keep working, keep working, keep working. Even weekends, sometimes you have to work and mark. We got time to go Vietnam, then Pat Tho and all that, then find a wife. So he told me that, oh no, he just paid lah. He paid a agency. Then they brought him over to this village, and then he get to choose. Yeah. So apparently that village, right? It seems like the whole village, is a place where they so-called train the all the single young ladies who want to be matchmake out to some first world country lah. So they will train them in the English, Chinese, the more popular languages ah. Then they will train them how to like sew, cook, like everything that a wife should be able to do lah. Yeah, so you train them, then the guys will come in and then take a look. So you just based on looks see which one you like and you fancy. Then you just tell the matchmaker, can I spend one day with this girl lah? So they'll like let you bring her to the beach and all that. Then she'll try to communicate with you. Then if you feel like, wow, good, I really like this girl, I want her to be my wife. Then you just tell the matchmaker lor, deliver her to you after all the procedure is done lah. Yeah, all the paperwork, everything.
So those is a factual account, right? Then I just wanted to ask Eric, what's your opinion on this? Which is the second part of the question.
Second part of the question, like, does this Vietnamese bride agency work? Obviously, they work, right? And in fact, they work very well lah. Last time, I think, if I'm not wrong, used to be like China or some other country, right? Yeah. Then after that, they become more affluent, then like okay, son, now they're not gonna go to a village and train to come here because they are like just as wealthy. In fact, at one point, I think China was booming a lot more, right? Then they have a lot of uh 暴发户 or something like that. So they have a lot of money. So they switch over to the more rural one, like Myanmar, Vietnam, all this. If you're talking about like the girl love you wholeheartedly and all these things, uh, you can trust her with your life kind. Probably not lah. She's only here because you spend the money and then you promise her a good standard of living. I think the question, if you reframe it as can money buy a wife, the answer is definitely yes. But it also depends on what you want in a wife. Like for me, when I was younger, I think I did go for those matchmaking agencies. I go for those kind of lunch actually. I cannot remember which one that I went for, but it's something like lunch actually. So I went once for one date, and then I like, hey, can I have my money back?
Why
because
is it? Why so bad?
because not sure. I
But
was very
how many
disappointed.
how many people you met like during one session like that? One
One
session,
or
one only. Okay.
one, because they promised to set up like can't remember whether was it 10 or 20. I think it was 20. They
Uh-huh.
promised to set up 20 dates with 20 different girls. So you just tell them the profile of girls that you want. I think Kelvin should know, right? You that time you also use do you use the agency?
Mine is not agency. I
Not
went through a
agency.
dating app.
So you
But yeah, but
app
my
He
friend went.
DIY. He don't want to spend money.
those are quite ex, no? Like during the time that I went, right? I think 10 plus years ago, I think the package was like 3,000, something like that. So I remember thinking to myself, wow, that's quite expensive compared to like doing the app yourself. But then this one, it promises to be more efficient because you kind of pay them the money. They have to deliver 20 dates within half a year.
But it's not guaranteed to be able to find, right?
Yeah, lah, because you also have to like your expectation is a lot higher, right? Not going to Vietnam there to pick like look chill can already. But this one is like they are also locals, so they also have requirements. So you look at them, they look at you like, okay, happy. Then you say, okay, can I get your number? So the first one I went for, right, I still remember. I look at her like immediately in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to ask for a refund now.
Why? What do you? What made you reject instantly? Is it the look?
Yes, I'm good. I'm very superficial.
But before the date, you can't see the picture, man.
Uh, I think they never let me see leh.
What the hell?
Really leh, really. They just ask me for my requirement. I say, oh, this, that. Then I say, oh, at least okay looking lah. Like I know I'm
Wow.
not like a Keanu Reeves or what, but at least average looking lah. But then I saw the girl, I was like, 这个 agency if it's like that I think I want a refund. Originally they didn't want to refund me. They say like, "Aiya, just go for a few more lah. Go for a few more, then we refund you half." Our policy is like that. So I was quite stubborn. I said no. I don't want to waste any more time. You refund me. But I do know of colleagues who went for the same agency, right? They managed to find their other half. Yeah. So teachers actually need quite a lot of help one. Yeah.
It's a lifestyle thing, right? It's because they're really swamped with work and they
Yeah.
don't really have time access.
Crazy. They're crazy swarm with work. Even
Right.
now, tutors I mean, you know those give tuition one, right? Tutors. It's also a lifestyle. Like when we are free, nobody else is free.
Mm.
That kind of thing, lor. So it's very difficult. Like sometimes people will ask us like, hey, how come we don't want to meet like a backholder pod in live person, right? Because when I'm free, the rest of them not free.
Bunty, your opinion on this practice, and also maybe just share personally. If let's say you didn't meet your wife when you're your childhood sweethearts, like let's say you are maybe in your 30s and you also don't happen to have any luck in this space, would you consider going down that route. Yeah.
So just now that article, right? We saw that there's this name of the agency, right? True Love Vietnam, right? I just try to like scroll a bit,
Extensive research.
yeah, to do a bit like a 5 minutes research. Actually, this guy, I think I have seen him before in one of the TikTok video or live TikTok. I think he's introducing the ladies from Vietnam. What matchmaking business works or not? I think the answer is definitely yes. I would say this business is very similar to recruitment business. So recruitment, right? Employer looking for employee, and then employee looking for job, right? So sometimes it's not so easy to get a match, right? So you want to have an agency to help you do the matching. And I think aside from matching, also there are other roles. One, for example, they will do some vet through, make sure that the background is good, like all these selection criteria and so on. So I think business wise, definitely, I think it's a good business, but it's not so easy because you need to be in that business for some time and then get the networks, get all the leads, right? Then only you have access to the pool of, if in the recruitment business we call a pool of talents, but here I think it's a pool of like good looking girls. I think that's the business. So I think the guy's quite successful because I think through TikTok also get a lot of exposure. Come back to your questions on whether I will try. I would say I won't. I'm not rejecting this idea because especially for those who are, let's say if my current age, if I'm still single, I try to look for girlfriend locally but still cannot get, and sometimes reach a certain age we just want to settle down, right? To have a family, to have kids, and you don't want to go through all those dating with people's, right? It's too slow sometimes. Then I think just go through this. You have a agency that help you vet through, make sure that the girl's background is good, and then that once you married a wife, right, she can do the things that you want her to do, for example, like take care of the kids and all those things. And I think this is mainly applicable to those who already financially settled, like you have the money, you just don't have the time to spend to pato and so on. I think it's a good propositions, but maybe not for everyone. This is really for those who are looking to set up a family instead of like looking for true love, right? Yeah. But to answer the questions on whether you can find true love using all this matchmaking, I would say you want to find true love by just paying money, definitely no. Okay. But once let's say you get married with the girl and then you spend some time to live together, right? Let's say like years, right? 3 years, 5 years. I think from no love also there will be some love, right? Just because of the like you stay together, you take care of each other and so on. So it's different type of love.
Because
Maybe
you made love together. You made it out.
yeah, you made it out. Yeah.
So you
So I-
believe in the proximity thing, lah.
Yes,
In Chinese,
yes,
I think
definitely.
it's 日久生情, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, interesting. I think, okay, maybe I'll pass it over to Kelvin, but I foresee, this is my personal opinion, when Eric is describing about the experience and his factual account, and then when Bunti is talking about it, I actually picked up two phrases, which I think there will be pushback in the comments later. So Eric said, quote, a wife should be able to do they will train the wife or train the girls to do things that a wife should be able to do. That's the first quote. Second thing from Bunti is things that you want her to do, unquote, meaning to take care of kids and whatnot. So I think there's this sense of I think it's something that we would not like to admit because of this very strong cancel culture. But I think this is still a very general or very big consensus, especially in other parts of the world that are not as woke. And you are expecting the women to fulfill certain type of gender roles, and you expect men to fulfill certain type of gender roles. So I think I just wanted to ask Kelvin, like, do you think this? Because we pass it off or when we say this remark, this is the underlying thought, the underlying perspective that girls should stay at home, take care of kids, and don't need to go out and work. But I think this is not the current consensus in the local context. Like a lot of the Singaporean women are very strong, very independent, and they probably earn much more than their guy counterparts. So I just wanted to ask, like, Kelvin's perspective. Do you think this is any level, or do you sense any level of objectifying, or how do you look at this dynamics here?
No, I think they are just generalizing things, right? So if you look at statistics, men do earn more than women. Just because women has to put a stop to their career to take care of kids lah. So women roles are generally less well paid when compared to men. So for example, you look at like admin. Admin, you would rather hire women to become an admin, to become a secretary, or maybe like nurse. So there's more women nurse compared to male nurse. And for example, like kindergarten school teachers, you would rather a female teacher rather than a male teacher. Later, the male teacher go and waterboard your kid. That is a different story. So it's just how the way society puts it lah. There's some roles prefer women more than men, and as a result, those roles paid lesser than other kind of roles, like CEO, higher pay kind of roles. So as to what they all said just now, I think it's just what society generalize it to do ma. So obviously, if I can, I would rather be the stay-home husband, cook all day long. After the kids sleep, I can go and play my games. If each of them has their own roles to play lah. So if you want to become the breadwinner for the family, then you will expect the other person either to become a breadwinner also, or they have to take care of the family lah. So it's like a soccer team lah. You play football, not everyone can be a goalkeeper. That'd be insane. Some need to be defender, some need to be attacker. So I think you need to agree with your wife lah. So like Eric wife, I think is study what PhD, right? So if Eric wife is very overpowering, she can be the breadwinner, right? Then Eric become the house husband. I think nothing wrong with that lah. So I think it's mutually agreed upon lah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just managing the expectation on both sides. Because for example, right, let's say you are single and then you go look for this matchmaking agency, right? Then the guy introduce you, okay, we have this lady, she's super good looking, very capable. She's the CEO of one of the company in some place, right? Okay. Then on the date that you're supposed to meet, then she's too busy meeting, working, flying, not free to meet you up. I think regardless of how successful, how rich is she, I think for the customers that engage all this matchmaking agency, the customer, you think from the customer perspective, do they want to marry this lady? Like, okay, she's very successful, right? The answer is just no lah, because that's not the profile of people that they're looking for, right? They don't want a successful, capable career woman. They want someone who, help out with the family, have kids. I think have kids is the main one, I guess.
Okay, I think this is interesting. So Bunti extended the point. So we have been thinking from a customer perspective, right? Right now, what if we change the roles? Let's say you are staying in Vietnam. You are one of the girls instead. Would you seek to join using this pathway to go to a first world country? Maybe I'll get Kelvin to expand.
Wow.
Let's say you're the Vietnamese.
I think I sort of understand where they are coming from. So like from Malaysia, right? You compared to Singapore is less developed, I would say. Yeah. And like you see Singapore is like foreigners go to US and they see the Statue of Liberty, say, wow, this is America. So when I crossed the Singapore bridge for the first time, it's like, wow, Singapore, eh. Yeah, it's that kind of feeling. Like, wow, I see a lot of money. I like my eyes growing. I think I will also do this kind of thing, right? Like, okay, true love can come later. I need to first upgrade my status first.
If you're in Vietnam, or if you're the Vietnamese females.
It depends on whether am I aware or not. If let's say I'm not really aware that there's a place that can afford me all these creature comforts, then I suppose I won't be so drawn.
I presume the person will come to your village lah. Then he'll give you a very good pitch, and then he will say, "Wow, ABC in Singapore, how good, stuff like that lah."
Yeah, so someone's got to indoctrinate me lah, like saying, "Oh, promise this is a good life and all that." It's just like in Singapore, if someone come from Dubai or something and then try to indoctrinate me, then I might be enticed, ma. Like if I go there, be expect like, wow, whole day horse riding, shopping.
Some place, right? It's maybe, let's say Vietnam or this third world countries, maybe city still okay, but then if you go to some smaller villages, I think you'll be surprised on how bad their living condition is now. So if I'm living in those places, right, I'm definitely looking for ways to get out from the place. If it is so easy to get a job outside, right, I think they will have choose that already. But for these peoples, maybe some of them are not so well educated, like lack of university degree and so on. So that's the way, that's the opportunity, right, which is to get married to places like Singapore, right. I would say the answer is yes lah. I mean that's quite a reasonable choice. You just want to have a better life, right? But actually, yeah, that's my answer. But I have one questions for those ladies, right? I think when they engage all this agency, right? I don't know whether, let's say, when customer come and you know, like say, okay, I'm interested, can they actually say no or not? I think that's quite I'm quite curious. I believe the answer should be yes lah. Cannot be like, okay, you have no choice at all. Because it's also both sides, the girl also looking at the guy. Let's say if you get married to someone that is not like not super wealthy, but is super old and definitely need someone to take care, like the kind of like nursing care, do you still want to get married or not? I think that's also not reasonable to ask the girl
I
to get married, right? Yeah.
I do believe they can say no, but I think the bigger worry underlying this is really like, I guess the dynamics is different, right? Because the guy is, or the person from the first world country has leverage. So I'll presume that, let's say I'm in the female's position, right? I guess your menkan or your standard will be much lower. Like as long as this guy pass maybe a list of check boxes, then okay, sure. But I
Yeah.
think from the guy's perspective, you all want everything, like you all want
Yeah.
the girl to be nice, the girl to want to start a family, the girl blah 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 blah, to take care of your parents, maybe. I don't know
Yeah.
what it entails. So I guess it's this dynamics and this leverage that
Yeah.
who has higher.
I think it's just different checklist. Maybe for the guy, right, is that okay? Mainly you want to make sure that he's healthy, make sure that he, I mean, financially is, I mean, is good. All right. I think that's the main criteria. If poor one, I think definitely they don't even want to take you in as customer, right? But for ladies, it's maybe different.
Jing, I want to ask you. So, like when you met your girlfriend, what criteria were you looking for?
That's a very loaded question. I'm not too sure whether she watches my videos, but it doesn't matter. I think my mom doesn't even watch my video. But I actually, to be very, very frank, right? I'm not I don't go around with a checklist trying to mark off a checklist of things. I feel like the getting to know each other stage is very important. The first one, more importantly, is how she look at money, and the second one, more importantly, is how she live. Like, what's her lifestyle? Because it needs to need to upkeep lah. So I mean that's her personal opinion. I'm not talking about like family or anything because we don't know yet. But I guess it's really that first, I guess 2-3 months. Those are very important. It will make or break lah. And once they go past that portion, then you will know that you want to make it a long-term relationship lah.
Sorry, the
Yeah.
2-3 months is dating already, or it's just like friend stage?
Dating.
Okay.
Yeah. Because friend stage also, you really don't know unless they're willing to share, or unless you have drinking sessions and you all talk about it. But if not, if it's really friends and you all are very task focused, like let's say you're in a project meeting or project group, you wouldn't talk about, hey, help me settle this PowerPoint, and suddenly, hey, how's your parents, or how do you spend money? You won't ask this kind of questions, unless you all keep going out. But then don't forget, because I was in a Zoom era uni student. Yeah, so back then, I entered uni in 2019. 2020, they locked down. Then 2 years, they locked down, go back, lock down, go back, then hybrid. So yeah, that was my era. Just some context lah. So very hard to even yue out. And people all got lazy. Like everybody just wanted to Zoom. Yeah, it was a cold outreach lah, but she was my classmate lah. Like we are in the same compound. Got cut off. Do you have anything you wanted to say before we end off the discussion?
What was I talking about? I also cannot remember.
It said indoctrinate you, the Dubai, don't know.
Oh, okay,
Dubai
okay.
people come to Singapore, ask you to become expat.
Yeah, so I think respond to your question basically is, if you foresee a better life, no human being will say no. I prefer to stick it out here in the forest. Yeah, so nobody will prefer like, okay, let me for example, if you are staying in the squalid condition, then it's quite dilapidated. Then probably not lah. You want to go somewhere where it's more comfortable. Yeah, then the infrastructure is better. those kind of thing. Yeah, what? What?
Today, I think Eric on fire, keep using very tough words. But anyhow, I think just to end up this discussion, I also wanted to know the audience preferences on, if let's say you're at that life stage and you don't have a partner, would you guys also explore such an alternative? And leave in the comment section down below. Of course, don't forget to smash the like button, and we will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.